We welcome you, consciousness, we are Ara from the gates of Orion. Welcome to this presence. Consciousness, the reason we bring this moment to your awareness is you have come through this last 6-week window. There has been much alignment and attunement and physical changes that have caused much emotional turbulence. And this window is now shifting its focus. There will be more inclination in physical reality, meaning your earth will start to have more vibration coming from its central core, reaching out to the surface. This can take the form and shape of many different anomalies, and it is not important that you prepare for such things. It is important that you begin to experience also the anomalies as they move through your physical vibration. You as consciousness are beginning to once again recognize that the limitation of being physical is only limited by the way in which you are participating. Your participation is becoming en masse a frustration as you have created such a reality that it is becoming so difficult and arduous to embrace that it becomes your incarceration. So there are formulas and aspects and governing bodies that come together that are trying to release and allow this arduous vibration to have some ease. It has a long way to go in its release, and yet there is still some sublimation and allowance that comes to the surface. In this next 3-week cycle, we recognize that there is seasonal pass or frequency as your earth once again is beginning to change its path around your central star and shift on its axis. Recognize that the magnetic shifts are also being empowered greatly by the internal combustion that is taking place within your planet. It also then filters to the surface, and the magnetism is also playing in your internal gyro in your body. Be prepared for physical shift in your body, meaning it's not going to be so much as a biological as it will be meaning in dis-ease you label. It will be more of a skeletal function and musculature more than an organ or organic biology in that way. Consciousness, in this next window of time, the preparation that we would suggest for you is simply pay attention to the celestial bodies. They are beginning to, as you might label it, share their frequencies in a grander scale. The Merkaba that is beginning to become balanced within all beings. It is an inclusion that is taking place within the very construct of your embodiments, and it is going to be noticed throughout all embodiments. As your governing bodies and as your citizenship and as your daily regimen begins to have more struggle because it is trying to equilibrate, relax. Allow the equilibration process. They will still look like loss and gain. It is appropriate consciousness for as you begin to embrace this frequency, this balance that is taking place, you will be able to have further reaching communication within each other. and it will not be so defined by your social strata or your gender or your believing system. You will begin to recognize one another for what you are and what you have always been. Vibrational frequencies that seemingly look separate and yet vibrate as the one. So consciousness, in this period of time, we are going to simply remind you, be around or continue to imbibe liquid vibration so that it will bring nourishment. Increase any and all mineral salt for the very base acknowledgement in the body so that the body can function in its greatest accord. Also recognize that the daily reality, as you label it, is not necessarily the one to pay attention to. The one to pay attention to is the celestial reality that is beginning to perpetrate and be seen. Many of you are having awakenings in your daily regimen that you do not understand. How you understand that which cannot be understood is simple. Allow yourself to continue the experience like you can stop it. This is the time consciousness. This is the day. Very simply, we will leave you with this awareness. As at all possible, when it is that you are feeling so much vibration in your body that it becomes so intense to be able to, how do you say, focus, it was simple. We will give you this, you label it hand position. Pay attention, consciousness. You will use both of your hands. You will use the long fingers, the index fingers, and your opposing thumbs. Very simply, the thumbs will be placed on the fleshy flap on your ear, or the above the ear canal, pushing on the fleshy flap with the pad of the thumb. You will press inward and it will close off any sound or thereabout. So that is the first. The thumbs will, on your left hand, will push in on your left fleshy, closing that side, and the right pad of your right hand will push in on the fleshy on the right ear side. Correct? And push in. This will have a close. As it is pushed in, the long fingers from both hands will reach across to the eyes. This is very simple. Just let the thumbs be placed and let the left, yes, you call it the left digit, the left long finger, its pad will reach to the right eye. And then the right pad of the middle finger will touch on the surface of the left eye. Obviously, the shades, or you label them your eyelids, will be closed. Are we clear? Thumbs as they have been described in their position. You will have the long fingers. Obviously, it may feel a little tight or constricted. Relax and just place the pads on the opposing eyelid. Now, the final aspect is the index fingers. They will be touched on actually the side. The pads will naturally touch as you point your index fingers upward, as the long fingers have assumed their position and the thumbs are pushing in. The index finger's sides will touch and be placed right at the peak of the forehead, touching where the hairline possibly is. Very clearly, we recognize you have understood this position. All you must do is assume the position. Closing with the thumbs, pushing in on the fleshy bits of the ear canal, closing the ear canal. Literally, the long fingers, one will rest on top of the other as they reach and touch the opposing eyelid, not pushing in, just resting gently. The index fingers, they do not cross. They simply touch sides and rest upon the top of the forehead. And there you have it, consciousness. A position that will equilibrate you during this most vibrationally augmented period for your embodiments. Journey well, consciousness. And we are all.